Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events from around the world. I'm your host, Barbara, and I'm glad you're joining me today. We have a developing story that's caught our attention, and it involves a recent U.S. military strike in the Caribbean. According to reports, Colombian President Gustavo Petro has suggested that a U.S. attack on a small boat off the coast of Venezuela may have killed Colombian citizens. This is a significant claim, and we want to break down the details for you. The U.S. government has been conducting military operations in the region, targeting what they say are drug-carrying vessels. The latest strike, which occurred last week, reportedly killed 4 men on board. However, the identities of those individuals have not been confirmed, and now President Petro is saying that there are signs that Colombian citizens may have been among the victims. It's essential to note that the U.S. government has not provided any information about the nationality or affiliations of the people on the boat. The Pentagon has only said that the strike was carried out against a vessel suspected of carrying drugs from Venezuela. We also want to provide some context here. The U.S. has been increasing its military presence in the region, and there have been tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela over issues like drug trafficking and terrorism. Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino has accused the U.S. of using false accusations about drug trafficking to justify its military actions and potentially force a regime change in the country. As this story continues to unfold, we'll be keeping a close eye on it and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. It's crucial to approach this topic with nuance and consider multiple perspectives, given the complexities of international relations and the potential consequences of military action. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're continuing our exploration of global news and developments that shape our world. In this segment, we turn our attention to Ireland, where a significant political debate is unfolding. The frontrunner in the upcoming presidential election, Catherine Connolly, has criticized the government for its handling of a proposed law aimed at imposing sanctions on Israeli settlements. This move is part of a broader international discussion about how countries can influence policies in conflict zones through economic measures. Ms. Biss. Connolly's stance reflects a growing sentiment among many in Ireland who believe that their country should take a stronger position on issues related to human rights and international law. The proposed legislation, which has been years in the making, seeks to restrict trade with Israeli settlements, a move that is contentious both domestically within Ireland and internationally. It's worth noting that the role of the president in Ireland is largely ceremonial, but the position does carry moral authority and the ability to refer laws to the Supreme Court for review. This means that while the direct impact of the presidency on policy might be limited, the office can play a significant role in shaping public discourse and influencing government decisions. The Irish government has faced pressure not just from within its own borders, but also from external sources, including U.S. lawmakers who have suggested that passing such a bill could damage relations between Ireland and the United States. This external pressure highlights the complex web of international relationships and interests at play in this issue. As we consider this story, it's essential to approach it with an understanding of the nuanced positions and the historical context of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The imposition of sanctions is a tool that countries use to influence policy, but its effectiveness and ethical implications are subjects of ongoing debate. For our listeners who might be interested in exploring this topic further, I recommend looking into the history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, as well as the role of economic sanctions in international relations. Understanding these complexities can provide a deeper insight into why issues like the one currently facing Ireland's government are so challenging to resolve. As we move towards the conclusion of our show, remember that staying informed about global events is crucial in today's interconnected world. The discussions happening in countries like Ireland reflect broader trends and challenges that affect us all. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. We'll be discussing another critical issue that's making headlines around the globe. Thank you for joining me so far, and I look forward to sharing more insights with you in our next segment. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, let's take a closer look at the latest developments in French politics. French President Emmanuel Macron is facing mounting pressure to name a new prime minister after his third prime minister in a year resigned earlier this week. According to reports, Macron is expected to make an announcement by Friday, and speculation is rampant about who will fill the role. The French government has been plagued by instability, with the previous prime minister stepping down amidst criticism of the country's handling of economic and social issues. Sébastien Lecornu, a key figure in Macron's party, has been meeting with various political leaders to discuss possible solutions to the crisis. Lecornu has expressed optimism that a new prime minister will be able to find common ground among the country's fragmented political parties and move forward with key reforms. However, not everyone is convinced that a new prime minister will be enough to solve France's problems. German MEP Rasmus Andersen has warned that the country's instability risks having far-reaching consequences for the European Union as a whole, and that a new politics of compromise is needed to address the crisis. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing is clear: the French people are eager for stability and effective leadership. With the EU watching closely, Macron's next move will be crucial in determining the future of French politics and its impact on the global stage. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.